Hello everyone. In second part we will understand file input and output operation. In first part we have read the data from the console and same we have print those data on the console. But in this section we will read the data from the file and same we will write the data into the file. So let's get started. Now I am moving to IntelliJ and I have open IntelliJ and this is the very first example. So in this, while you dealing with file input and output operation, then very first class is file, and this is very crucial file. It is used to read and write the file, and there are many helper class which is used to read the stream or character from the file. But file object is created with the file class. Okay. So I have a one file like a student.txt. So we will first understand basic things in file. File itself has many methods which is used to know about the file. So what we can know about the file, like file is already exist or not, whatever you have mentioned in the path, is it directory or file, what is the size of file is open or not, what's the name of whole means file, means it has a absolute path and also relative paths. So what is the absolute path? Absolute means in detail, means like C drive slash ABC folder slash file name. So it will return absolute path, will return whole file path. What is the length of the file, means how much data it contains and what's the size. Suppose you have write then it has just 4 character, means it will return the byte, means 4 byte. So there are many methods in file to perform input and output operation. So I have mentioned here a student.txt, and this file is exist and created the file object, and here I have called create new file. Basically this method create new file is used to create the file. If file is already exist, then it will not create, it will simply return false. But if we create, if file is not exist, then first it will return one valuable true, means file is created, and if already there, then it will return false, means it will do nothing in these cases. And exist method just check if whatever mentioned here, like a student.txt, this file is exist or not, so it will return true or false. So here file is exist, so it will of course return true, and it will return file name, like file name is like a student.txt, so it will return file name, and absolute path means whole path and length. And it will also check is it file or directory. Suppose you have mentioned like here it is under suppose part 2, or my project is like demo, so demo is not a file. So in these cases it will return is file. This method will return false because demo is not a file, it's a directory. So these are, and this is also another method. Like similarly, each file it will check if it's a file, then it will return true, if it's not file, then it will return false. And similarly, if it's a directory, means folder, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So these are the important methods which are used to know about the file. So I am running this program. Just I am undo this one. Okay, now I am running this program. So here it returns file already exists, because file is already exist. It means no file is created, so it returns, because this create new files return false, means file is not created this time, it's already exists, so it return false, and so it goes in else condition and returns file already exist. File exist, yes, it returns true, file exist. Student txt, file name, here get name, print file name, file name is student.txt. Absolute path, complete absolute path, where this file is, means if you want to know the path of the file, where this file gets created and from where it is getting read, then we can use this one, get absolute path. And length, how much data it has, how much character it returns. Suppose earlier I have said, suppose it has stored only a means it has 4 characters, means it will return 4 bytes. And is it file? Yes, it's a student.txt is file. Is directory? No, it's not directory, it returns false. So these are the important method. And now I am creating another file. Suppose student1 or 5, we know that this file is not exist, so in these cases this time it will return file created successfully, because this time this is the new file. So here you can see it returns file created successfully, because this time it creates the file with the student 5, and of course once file is created it will exist, so here it returns exist, file name and all other details like that. So this is a very important class to perform file operation. Now let's move to the another class which will really use to read and write the data in file or from file. So for reading the data we have a FileInputStream, but first we will understand FileOutputStream, which is used to write the file. Means that first we will create the file and write some data, and then we will use with the help of FileOutputStream. So reading the data, for writing the data we use FileOutputStream, and many other classes are there, but FileOutputStream is quite popular and it has lots of useful methods, so that we can perform the writing operation smartly. So here I have used FileOutputStream. So here I have mentioned my binary.txt. so what it will do, it will first create the file if it's not there, and then write the data into this. Here you can also use new file like that. Import it. But in these cases here it's optional, it's not mandatory, because under the hood it creates the file. It's an internal thing of Java, so it's not really required at this point, because internally it use this one. So here you can directly put the file name. So here my file name is binary.txt, and this output in Java where you find a stream means always it will read the data in the form of byte. Read or write means a stream. Suppose output stream when we say, means it's used for writing the data in the form of a stream. A stream means in byte. But wherever you find reader or writer, then it read or write the data in the form of character. Differences is that byte take one character, take one single character take 8 byte, means 8 bit basically, means 1 byte. In a stream whereas character always take 2 bytes. So that's the major differences, and especially when you deal with the stream type of data like audio, video file, image, for those types of data, like if you want to read the PDF file, Word file, or audio, video, we have already discussed. So these kind of file, if you want to read, for this you have to use a stream type of class which will read the data efficiently byte by byte. So that's the major difference between reader and stream. So here file output stream, it will read the data byte by byte, and output is for writing purpose, of course it will write the data. And here we have a text and mention hello byte stream, welcome to Java. So what it will do, this is the string and I have converted this string into the bytes, and get bytes is the method which is used to convert the string into the bytes, and it create byte array. And output stream has write method which is used to write the byte into the file. And here we have plus method, it will clear the plus so that immediately it will write the data into the file, and ultimately we have closed the file, which is quite important. In the previous section we have also discussed about close. It's used to close the stream. If you don't close, then it will unnecessarily occupy the resources, and which is not good practice, basically, because once you use the things, you should close it, otherwise it will open forever and it will keep killing the resources. So for this one we have close method. So let's run this class, and it printed here like that. Here I have printed like data returned successfully, but there is no output on the console, because everything whatever I have mentioned here in the text, hello byte stream, welcome to Java, and we have called fos.write method. So this method, write method, write the data into the file. If you open this class, this method, means not method, this is a file basically. So in this file you will find this data. So I have a class here, binary.txt. I'm refreshing it. Okay, here you can see hello byte stream, welcome to Java. Again I am changing something, or let's add something. Amit Kumar, I am just writing. Now again I am running, and it will override that things, and in this file you will find this detail, and it is in 3 different lines because I have used line breaker, new line character slash n, so it break the line. And just I am reviewing, you will find one surprising thing. Again I am running this program. I have run this. Then in this file, just you have seen hello byte stream. Earlier whatever I have written, it's gone. So if you want to persist all those things, means if you want to append the data, means concat the data, then you have to pass here true, which will append the data, otherwise it will override. In these cases, by default it is false. If it's false, you don't need to provide. By default it is false. False means that every time it will override the data, means previous data will be removed and just fresh data will be written into the file. So if you want to append the data, then you have to manually pass true here. Now it will append the data. So if I run this program once again, then it will append. I have run, so you can see here hello byte stream, again it is written hello byte stream. So it will keep appending the data. And just I have want to use line breaker, and you can write any other thing. So it will keep appending the thing if you pass true here, and which is very important because sometimes accidentally we remove the data. So you have to be cautious about that. Suppose if you want to keep previous thing and append new thing into the file, then you must have to pass true before running the program, otherwise it will remove everything whatever you have written previously. So now it will keep appending the thing. So that's it about file output stream. And as I said, a stream is used for dealing with byte. Now I am reading the same file. Here I have directly opened the file, and same content if you want to read, then there is a input stream. Here I have passed the same file name binary.txt, and there is a method dot read. Here is the object FIS I have created, and here I have a method dot read. Actually it's in a loop, so it will actually file input stream read the data byte by byte. So I have used while loop so that it will read all the bytes, means all the character whatever written in binary txt. If I don't use a loop, then it will just read very first character. So I have used while loop to read all the data, and it also, and as I said, it reads the data in the form of bytes. So, and it is generally in integer format. So I have converted those integer into the character, so that it will print the actual value, means actual character what you have written. So I am running the program. I have run it, then it is printed. But if you don't write, means cast, basically this is the way of casting the data, means converting the data from one format to another formatted. But this should be compatible, means integer can be converted into the character, but some data cannot be converted, means every data cannot be converted into the character. Actually it had some rules, like integer can be converted in easily in long and double or float, but reverse is not true. Similarly byte can be converted into the long or upper form, means upper size, but upper means long double cannot be converted into the byte, because byte has less memory, so it will lose the data. Even you can try when you try to convert this, it will give the some wrong data, but it will not print because it have limited memory. So thing is that for casting, it is the way of changing the data from one type to another type. It is called type casting, and here I have used character so that it will convert the byte into the, means integer into the character, so that we can see the actual data I have seen here. But if I don't mention character, then it will print BR data means it will print all together in different format. You can see here every data is in integer, because ultimately actually what happened under the hood, every data, means every character in Java or any programming language, it is converted into the sky value, like A to Z, capital A to Z has some range, means numeric range. Same way a small A to Z has 97 to 122 value. So suppose if you write A in a small letter, it has 97, so here A will be printed like 97. So and similarly capital A has also range 65 to 92 something. So it will print the numeric format if you don't use character. So you have to typecast here character to see the actual data what you have written in file. So I have used character here for typecasting. So this is the way of reading the file, and ultimately you have to close the file. And in Java, when you perform any input or output, means IO operation, then you must have to write the code inside the IO block, means try catch block. This is the advanced feature of Java, and we will see it in the later session. But for quick understanding, there is a class like input output exception class, which is used to handle the exception, and whole thing should be written inside the, means any input out operation you want to perform, it should be written inside try catch block or throws block. So throws and try catch, and finally these things we will see in the next subsequent session. And another class is like FileReader. I have said that a stream is used to deal with byte, whereas reader is used to read with character. So it read the data character by. Suppose you have a text file, then you can use FileReader. But if you have binary file like PDF, audio, video, anything, then you can use FileInputStream for reading the file, and for text file reading we can use FileReader. So I have a FileReader, and I have created the object, and I have a student.txt file. So in this file we can read similar way like InputStream. And similarly for writing the data into the file, in text file if you want to create, then there is a FileWriter, and here I have provided a student. So these are the data what we want to write into this file, student.txt file. So it will be written, and then there is a plus, it will clear the plus, means memory, and everything immediately goes into the student.txt file, and ultimately we close this stream, means file. So I am running this program. So now program is run, and everything is written into the file. If you want to see, here is a file. In this file I have written those data. Actually what happens when you run, immediately it create the file and write everything. So here we have written the data in 3 lines. So all goes in student.txt class, file. And similarly if you want to read, then it has also read method. Here I have provided a student.txt file. Using this you can read it. And similarly I have casted in character, so it will print in actual character, means actual text it will print. So here it is, and ultimately close the. So these are the examples of dealing with file input and output stream. Java provided tons of other input and output classes. Another classes like object output stream, and also object stream, basically object input stream and object output stream. So you can also use it, and you can find the more detail on the internet. So I have provided the important insight about the file reading and writing operation, as well as reading from the console. So thanks for now. We will meet in the next session. Bye.